The Spokane Police Department is in shock after Karl Thompson's sentencing. Former Spokane police officer Karl Thompson spent his first full day behind bars inside a federal detention center near Seattle.
Not long after Thompson was led from the courtroom yesterday in handcuffs, U.S. Marshals transported him across the state and handed him over to the U.S. Bureau of Prisons. Meantime, members of the Spokane Police Department are troubled by the severity of Thompson's 51-month sentence. KXLY4's Jeff Humphrey joins us now with the story.
Well, Nadine, because of his longevity, but also Thompson's confident, charismatic presence, there are dozens of police officers who looked up to Thompson almost like a father figure. Now, in the course of doing his job, Thompson is wound up in prison, and many officers find that very unsettling. Karl Thompson walked into court facing a recommended 2 years in prison, but before the day-long hearing was over, U.S. attorneys had successfully doubled that sentence, much to the satisfaction of Otto Zem's family.
Well, I'm pleased with the judge's decision. I am just glad that somebody is finally accountable for my cousin's death.
The Zems say when the Thompson trial started more than a year ago, all they were hoping for was the truth. Federal prosecutors feel the convictions and tough sentence are a deterrent to future abuses of power.
But when police officers abuse those in their custody and use their badge as a license to cover up unlawful or excessive force, as the defendant did in this case, they stop working for law enforcement and start working against it.
Prosecutors hope the Thompson case shows the public that laws are enforced equally here in Spokane, but that message was almost lost when the court considered allowing Thompson to remain free pending his appeal, a motion the judge rejected.
I think the community ought to take faith and confidence in the fact that the rules are applied to all of us the same way, and I think that's very, very important, and I think that's one of the most important decisions that the judge made today, and we wholeheartedly agree with it.
However, Thompson's sentence sent shockwaves through the police department, so much so that Chief Frank Straub attended roll calls asking officers not to let Thompson's plight distract them from their duties.
There were an awful lot of very good things in Karl Thompson's life prior to this incident. We have a good number of officers who were trained by Officer Thompson, who shared meals with Officer Thompson. And so, yeah, it hurts. It hurts really bad.
Now, while Thompson is in a federal detention center in SeaTac tonight, he will ultimately be transferred to a federal prison, most likely the Sheridan Correctional Institute, about 60 miles outside of Portland. Jeff Humphrey, KXLY4.